In an age of shifting sands and uncertain allegiances, one name began to echo with increasing resonance: Umar Johnson. But which Umar? Some older merchants in hushed tones over flickering lamps might recall Umar the Corrupt, a name earned in his youth, a confidence trick gone awry, a shadow of ambition misspent. That Umar was a ghost, a specter of a past meticulously reformed. The man who now walked the caravan routes, who addressed learned scholars and humble goat herds with equal gravity, was Umar, the missionary. His transformation was the stuff of legend, whispered in souks and debated in desert encampments. An Ash'ari Muslim, his devotion was profound. His understanding of scripture and philosophy were unparalleled, a beacon in uncertain times. He was ambitious, yes. This ambition, once a wildfire, now burned as a controlled sacred flame, dedicated to a divine purpose, to enlighten, to unify, to guide his people to a more righteous path. Umar possessed an uncanny ability to see connections, to find common ground where others saw only division. He was undeniably a religious icon. Some in hushed reference dared to compare his burgeoning influence to the great teachers of old. They spoke of him as a spiritual successor, perhaps destined for a monumental world-shaping role. In the camp, Umar observes his followers setting up, and in an internal monologue, the past is a lesson, not a life sentence. The corrupt paid his dues in silence and repentance. He paved the way so the missionary could be born from that dust. The path is long, the work essential and unending. Every soul awakened to truth and a victory against the encroaching darkness. Every injustice addressed, a step closer to the divine design I strive to comprehend. He moved through villages not as a conqueror but as a balm. His words offered solace to the grieving, clarity to the confused, hope to the downtrodden. His very presence radiated a unique, compelling authority. People listened. They looked into his eyes and saw not the lingering deceit of a forgotten trickster, but the burning, unwavering conviction of a true believer. He sought to unite fractured communities. He aimed to enlighten minds clouded by superstition and despair. His past was a shadow now lengthy and faint behind him. His future, a beacon he himself was painstakingly building. Conversation by conversation, journey by journey. Each sunrise brought new challenges, new opportunities for his mission. And each sunset found him in deeper resolve, his spirit fortified by the day's trials. One sweltering afternoon, as Umar discussed a point of doctrine with Azam, his closest friend and most trusted confidant, a rider was spotted on the horizon, dust plumed like a signal fire behind the galloping horse. The man was lean, his face a mask of dust etched by the sun and wind. He rode with an urgency that spoke of important news. He dismounted swiftly before Umar, bowing low, a sign of deep respect that Umar accepted with his customary quiet dignity. Master Umar, I bring urgent greetings from the magnificent court of the wise Sultan Al-Malik of Kanim. Umar offering the man a water skin. Speak, brother. Rest yourself. What news comes from Kanim? What? The Sultan extends his profound esteem, master, and a formal invitation. A grand tournament is to be held in the capital city, the likes of which has not been witnessed in a generation. He specifically and most earnestly requests your honored presence, not only as a man of renown of wisdom, but The Sultan has heard persistent whispers of your other, perhaps less heralded talents. The dueling contest, he declares, seeks champions of true worth. He believes you may be such a man. Umar exchanging glances with Azam. The Sultan is gracious. Kanem, a powerful city, a hub of learning, and a tournament of this scale? Azam, a pragmatic man with a warrior's insight, speaks. Master, Kanem is a long and difficult road. The journey itself will be arduous in these tournaments. There are often showcases of vanity filled with worldly distractions. Could this not divert you from your more sacred work? From the other path of enlightenment you champion? Umar gives Azam a rare, slight smile, and his eyes hold a distant gleam. The world, my dear Azam, is precisely where our faith is most rigorously tested. It is in the marketplaces, in the court of kings, and yes, even in the arenas of contests, that our message must take root and flourish. A gathering of such magnitude with so many influential souls present offers a unique pulpit, does it not? And sometimes, Azam, profound respect, the kind that opens hardened hearts to new ideas, is not earned only through gentle words of wisdom, but through a clear demonstration of other deeply held convictions. The strength of spirit can manifest in many forms. Umar paused, his gaze sweeping over his band of followers. Their faces turned towards him, awaiting his decision. He saw their trust, their hope. Convey my message to the Sultan. Tell him Umar the missionary will honor his invitation. Azam, everyone, prepare our provisions. Gather what is necessary for our long march. Our path, now leading to the great city of Kanem. It seems the new stage has been set for our work. Let us meet what awaits with steadfast hearts and open minds. The journey to Kanem was long. Umar's band, a dedicated group of followers, moved with a practiced efficiency. Azam, his steadfast friend, often rode beside him, discussing matters of faith, strategy, or simply observations of the road. Nastijo, Umar's second in command, a woman whose sharp eyes missed little, oversaw the discipline and security of his modest caravan. Her orders were crisp. Her demeanor, though sometimes abrasive to the rank and file, ensured their progress was swift and safe. Wage, the chief cook, though quiet and unassuming, performed miracles with their limited supplies, ensuring every member of the band was adequately fed, a crucial element for maintaining morale on such an arduous trek. This land, Azam, it tests the body, it purifies the spirit. Look how small we are beneath this endless sky. It teaches humility, yet it also shows the resilience of life, of faith. Indeed, Master Umar, it shows the importance of a good guide and strong companions. Nastikos reports that outriders have seen no sign of trouble for days, and Wage's skills in finding water where others see only sand is a blessing. Each has their part to play in the journey as in life. Finally, the great city of Kanem rose from the horizon. Its walls were imposing, its markets a vibrant tapestry of color, sound, and scent. Merchants from across the known world bartered their wares. Scholars in flowing robes debated in shaded courtyards. The energy of the city was palpable. Umar's arrival, though unostentatious, did not go unnoticed. Word of the missionary, who was also a warrior, had preceded him. The tournament grounds were a spectacle. Banners of noble houses snapped in the desert wind. The air thrummed with the nervous excitement of impending contests. Umar, accompanied by Azam and a watchful Nastikos, observed the initial preparations. Nastico scanning the area. A diverse assembly, master. Many are here for glory, some for coin. Few, I suspect, for the kind of enlightenment you offer, but all respect strength. Strength, Nasticos, can be a key that unlocks many doors, even those leading to the mind and spirit. Let us see what lessons Canem holds for us, and what lessons we might offer in return. When the dueling contest began, Umar entered the arena. His calm was a stark contrast to the boisterous energy of many combatants. He was not there for a spectacle. He was there to test himself and perhaps make a point. His opponents were skilled. They were champions from their own land. They wielded spear, sword, and axe with practiced lethality. Umar met them all. His body, honed by his many blades of travel, vitality, and a life of disciplined austerity, moved with a power and grace that belied his scholarly pursuits. His mind was his greatest weapon. He analyzed each opponent's style, their temperament, their tells. He fought not just with steel, but with intellect. Umar's first opponent was a large warrior, a boastful one. Prepare to meet your ancestors, preacher. My blade sings a song of sorrow for my foes. Let us hope it finds a more harmonious tune today, warrior. Perhaps one of mutual respect, learned in honorable contest. The duel was swift. The warrior's aggression was his undoing. Umar, with a series of precise parries and a perfectly timed counter, disarmed him without drawing significant blood. He simply made it impossible for the man to continue. One by one, champions fell. The crowd, initially skeptical of the robed missionary, grew astonished. Then admiration turned to thunderous applause. This was no mere aesthetic. This was a warrior of the highest caliber, whose every move spoke of profound inner balance and formidable skill. Azam, with a smile on his face. He surprises even me sometimes. Nasticos, the depth of his spirit is matched only by the keenness of his blade. Nasticos nodding along, her eyes fixed on Umar. He has layers. Most men are shallow pools. He is a deep well. The final duel pitted Umar against the Sultan's own champion. A fearsome warrior, undefeated in Canem for 5 years. The tension in the arena was a palpable force. The Sultan leaned forward in his royal box. The warrior salutes Umar with his scimitar. They say you are a man of God, missionary. To say we see if God favors your sword arm. Umar returning the salute with his simpler blade. God favors justice, champion, and skills honed through discipline. May our contest be of worthy remembrance. The duel was a breathtaking display. The champion was fast, powerful, his scimitar a whirlwind of silver. Umar was a study in focus, calm. He yielded when necessary, deflected when possible, always seeking subtle openings. The momentary lapse in his opponent's formidable offense. Minutes stretched, each a lifetime of feint and parry, strike, counter-strike. Finally, with a movement almost too quick for the eye to follow, Umar bypassed the champion's guard and placed the tip of his sword lightly against the champion's throat. A checkmate in steel. A stunned silence. And then Canem erupted. Umar the missionary was the undisputed champion. Later that evening, the Sultan speaks with Umar and Azam. Your victory today, Umar, was more than skill. It was artistry. It was a philosophy expressed through action. Canem is honored, but tell me, such journeys, such diverse experiences as yours, have you considered committing them to parchment for the edification of future generations? Your words resonate deeply, great Sultan. Indeed, as I have traveled, as I have seen the myriad ways of humankind and the eternal truths that bind us, the thought has often come to me. These experiences, these lessons learned under different skies, they form a pattern, a chronicle of a seeker's path. A book from your hand, Master Umar, would be a treasure beyond price. Many yearn for your wisdom, your perspective. Then it shall be so. The duels have concluded, but a new labor begins. I will write. I will record what I have seen, what I have learned, what I believe. Perhaps the travels of Umar, or such a title, a guide for those who walk a similar path and reason in this complex world. Your magnificent home, Sultan, has provided not just a worldly victory, but a profound inspiration for this new scholarly ambition. The journey to Kanem was long. Umar's band, a dedicated group of followers, moved with a practiced efficiency. Azam, his steadfast friend, often rode beside him, discussing matters of faith, strategy, or simply observations of the road. Nastiko, Umar's second-in-command, a woman whose sharp eyes missed little, oversaw the discipline and security of his modest caravan. Her orders were crisp. Her demeanor, though sometimes abrasive to the rank and file, ensured their progress was swift and safe. Wage, the chief cook, though quiet and unassuming, performed miracles with their limited supplies, ensuring every member of the band was adequately fed. A crucial element for maintaining morale on such an arduous trek. This land, Azam, it tests the body. It purifies the spirit. Look how small we are beneath this endless sky. It teaches humility, yet it also shows the resilience of life, of faith. Indeed, Master Umar, it shows the importance of a good guide and strong companions. Nastikos reports that outriders have seen no sign of trouble for days, and Wage's skills in finding water where others see only sand is a blessing. Each has their part to play in the journey as in life. Finally, the great city of Kanam rose from the horizon. Its walls were imposing, its markets a vibrant tapestry of color, sound, and scent. Merchants from across the known world bartered their wares. Scholars in flowing robes debated in shaded courtyards. The energy of the city was palpable. Umar's arrival, though unostentatious, did not go unnoticed. Word of the missionary, who was also a warrior, had preceded him. The tournament grounds were a spectacle. Banners of noble houses snapped in the desert wind. The air thrummed with the nervous excitement of impending contests. Umar, accompanied by Azam and a watchful Nastikos, observed the initial preparations. Nastikos scanning the area. A diverse assembly, master. Many are here for glory, some for coin. Few, I suspect, for the kind of enlightenment you offer, but all respect strength. Strength, Nastikos, can be a key that unlocks many doors, even those leading to the mind and spirit. Let us see what lessons Kanem holds for us, and what lessons we might offer in return. When the dueling contest began, Umar entered the arena. His calm was a stark contrast to the boisterous energy of many combatants. He was not there for a spectacle. He was there to test himself and perhaps make a point. His opponents were skilled. They were champions from their own land. They wielded spear, sword, and axe with practiced lethality. Umar met them all. His body, honed by his many blades of travel, vitality, and a life of disciplined austerity, moved with a power and grace that belied his scholarly pursuits. His mind was his greatest weapon. He analyzed each opponent's style, their temperament, their tells. He fought not just with steel, but with intellect. Umar's first opponent was a large warrior, a boastful one. "Prepare to meet your ancestors, preacher. My blade sings a song of sorrow for my foes." Let us hope it finds a more harmonious tune today, warrior. Perhaps one of mutual respect, learned in honorable contest. The duel was swift. The warrior's aggression was his undoing. Umar, with a series of precise parries and a perfectly timed counter, disarmed him without drawing significant blood. He simply made it impossible for the man to continue. One by one, champions fell. The crowd, initially skeptical of the robed missionary, grew astonished. Then admiration turned to thunderous applause. This was no mere aesthetic. This was a warrior of the highest caliber, whose every move spoke of profound inner balance and formidable skill. Azam bears a rare smile on his usually stern face. Azam with a smile on his face. He surprises even me sometimes. Nastikos, the depth of his spirit is matched only by the keenness of his blade. Nastikos nodding along, her eyes fixed on Umar. He has layers. Most men are shallow pools. He is a deep well. The final duel pitted Umar against the Sultan's own champion. A fearsome warrior, undefeated in Kanem for 5 years. The tension in the arena was a palpable force. The Sultan leaned forward in his royal box. The warrior salutes Umar with his scimitar. "They say you are a man of God, missionary. To say we see if God favors your sword arm." Umar returning the salute with his simpler blade. "God favors justice, champion, and skills honed through discipline. May our contest be of worthy remembrance." The duel was a breathtaking display. The champion was fast, powerful, his scimitar a whirlwind of silver. Umar was a study in focus, calm. He yielded when necessary, deflected when possible, always seeking subtle openings. The momentary lapse in his opponent's formidable offense. Minutes stretched, each a lifetime of feint and parry, strike, counter-strike. Finally, with a movement almost too quick for the eye to follow, Umar bypassed the champion's guard and placed the tip of his sword lightly against the champion's throat. A checkmate in steel. A stunned silence. And then Kanem erupted. Umar the missionary was the undisputed champion. Later that evening, the Sultan speaks with Umar and Azam. "Your victory today, Umar, was more than skill. It was artistry. It was a philosophy expressed through action. Kanem is honored, but tell me, such journeys, such diverse experiences as yours, have you considered committing them to parchment for the edification of future generations?" "Your words resonate deeply, great Sultan. Indeed, as I have traveled, as I have seen the myriad ways of humankind and the eternal truths that bind us, the thought has often come to me. These experiences, these lessons learned under different skies, they form a pattern, a chronicle of a seeker's path." "A book from your hand, Master Umar, would be a treasure beyond price. Many yearn for your wisdom, your perspective." "Then it shall be so. The duels have concluded, but a new labor begins. I will write. I will record what I have seen, what I have learned, what I believe. Perhaps the travels of Umar, or such a title, a guide for those who walk a similar path and reason in this complex world. Your magnificent home, Sultan, has provided not just a worldly victory, but a profound inspiration for this new scholarly ambition. Now, in the desertling campfires at night in the camp, Umar has returned from Kadam, his triumph echoing in the songs of his followers, his mind already shaping the early chapters of his book. His camp, a mobile community of devotees, warriors, and supporter staffs, was his sanctuary and his responsibility. Here, too, human dramas unfolded, often unseen by the wider world. Nastikos, his second-in-command, managed the camp's daily operations with a firm, sometimes harsh efficiency. She was respected for her strategic sense, but her ambition sometimes manifested as a need to dominate those she perceived as weaker. Wage, the chief cook, bore the brunt of Nasiko's sharp temperaments. Wage was quiet. Her domain, the cook fires and the careful rationing of supplies. She ensured the physical sustenance of the band in a vital role, yet Nastikos often found ways to belittle her. Nastikos was approaching Wage by the cook fires, her voice laced with authority and disdain. The evening meal was adequate, Wage. Barley. Some of the men complained the bread was too dry. As second in command, I expect better for those who guard Master Umar. Your efforts reflect on us all. Try not to be so lacking. Wage, with a soft voice, her eyes on the simmering pot. I do my best with the supplies we have, Nastikos. The desert is hard on flour. I will try to improve. Oh, try. Such a feeble word. It is the word of the incompetent. Master Umar relies on strength, on results. Remember that, cook. Your position is not guaranteed. This was a common refrain. Nastikos, secure in a role as second to Umar, seemed to take a perverse pleasure in undermining Wage. Possibly, maybe, it was jealousy of Wage's quiet devotion, which Umar sometimes acknowledged with a kind word. Or perhaps it was simply Nastikos' nature to assert her dominance over the gentle. Wage endured daily provocations with a stoic silence. She served the meals, she managed her stores, she kept her hurt, her resentment deep within. Azam noticed this dynamic. Nastikos presses Wage too hard, master. There is bitterness there that is not good for the harmony of our camp. Nastikos is a fine second, tactically astute, but her tongue can be a lash. I have observed it, Azam. Wage's spirit is like the desert reed. It bends, but is not yet broken. Some lessons in strength are learned in harsh winds. However, I will speak to Nastikos if her conduct continues to sow discord, rather than discipline. But Umar, increasingly absorbed in his writings and growing demands of his mission, perhaps did not see the full depth of Wage's silent suffering, or the true darkness coiling within Nastikos' ambition. The breaking point came on a stiflingly hot night. A dispute had arisen over a small store of rare spices Wage had been saving for a special meal to honor a religious observance. Nastikos, claiming authority over all camp supplies, had commandeered them for a private meal she had planned with some of the senior warriors. In the scene, Wage confronts Nastikos, her voice trembling but firm for once. Those spices were for Master's observant, Nastikos. They are not for your feastings. And Nastikos, with cold eyes. I am the second in command cook. All supplies are under my purview. And I say these spices will be better appreciated by warriors than wasted on your sentimental little rituals. You are in no position to question my decisions. Know your place, Wage. You are merely a cook, easily replaced. This is an injustice Master Umar would not approve. Nasiko stepping closer, her voice dropping to a menacing hiss. Master Umar is busy with important matters. He leaves the running of this camp to me, and I grow very tired of your mousy defiance. Perhaps a few days without rations will remind you of your station, or perhaps a more permanent solution to your constant, whimpering presence. Nasiko's turned her back, a smirk of triumph on her face. In that moment, something within Wage, so long suppressed, finally snapped. The accumulation of countless humiliations, the constant belittling, the casual cruelty, it all coalesced into a single blinding point of rage. Later that night, as the camp slept under a sky devoid of stars, Wage moved. Umar, ever attuned to the undercurrent of his surroundings, was awakened by the subtle shift in the night's quiet rhythm. A stifled sound, a wrongness in the air. He rose, moving like a wraith towards the area near Nasiko's tent. He found Nasiko sprawled near the unlit fire pit. Her eyes were wide with the final uncomprehending terror. A slender, razor-sharp skinning knife, one of Wage's own cooking tools, was buried deep in her chest. Wage stood a few feet away, her breath coming in a ragged gasp. The knife's empty sheath still in her hand. She was not looking at Nastikos, but staring into the dying embers of the fire. Umar with a low voice. Wage! Wage turned slowly, her face pale in the faint starlight, but her eyes strangely calm now. The storm within her having broken. Master, she would not stop. She meant to destroy me in spirit, if not in body. Tonight she threatened more. I could not let her. Not anymore. There was no other way to silence her poison. Umar surveyed the scene, his mind rapidly assessing the implications. Nasiko, for all her flaws, had been a competent second. Her loss would be felt, but Wage. This was a profound transformation. What is done is done. Her voice will trouble you no more. It will trouble no one. Wage, with a flicker of fear finally touching her eyes. What? What will become of me, Master? I have taken a life. Umar then looked at her. Not at the timid cook he thought he knew, but at the woman who stood before him now. A woman who had found terrible strength within himself. He saw not a common murderer, but an instrument perhaps of harsh, inevitable justice. Nastikos' cruelty was a cancer in our midst, Wage. You have performed a grim surgery. The camp will need a new second in command, but more than that, I have need of a different kind of strength. My path is fraught with enemies, Wage, seen and unseen. Nastikos, in her own way, was my small viper, but there are larger serpents in the world. Your hand has shown its capacity for decisive silent action tonight. Let that decisiveness, that newfound steel I see in you, now serve a greater, more vital purpose. From this moment, you are more than chief cook. You are my shield against the unseen. Your quietness will be your stealth. Your knowledge of this camp, your network, your eyes and ears, my warning against hidden dangers. Guard my life, Wage, with the same ferocity you use to guard your own dignity. That is your new path, your sacred charge. Can you bear such a burden? Wage met his eyes, his intense gaze. The last vestiges of fear replaced by a dawning, almost fierce sense of purpose. I can, Master Umar. I will be your shadow, your silent guardian. None shall harm you while I draw breath and have this knife at my side. My life is yours to command. Years pass. Umar's chronicles of his book, The Travels, was slowly taking shape. Its early chapters already copied and discussed in learned circles. Wage, now Umar's unwavering shadow, moved with a quiet deadliness, her loyalty absolute. Her past as chief cook masking her new, grim responsibilities as his protector. Azam remained his steadfast friend, a sounding board for his insights, and a reliable commander for his growing band of followers. The memory of Nasiko's demise was a sealed chapter, a grim foundation upon which a new order within Umar's closest circle had been built. Umar's fame as a spiritual leader and a man of profound intellect continued to spread. Invitations arrived from distant rulers, curious about the man whose legend was becoming a significant force across diverse lands. One such summons drew him to the ancient Christian kingdom of Abyssinia, nestled in the rugged highlands of East Africa. A tournament was proclaimed, celebrating a significant royal anniversary. And Umar, ever cunning, decided to attend. Abyssinia, a land of ancient traditions, Azam. Their Coptic faith is deeply rooted, distinct from our Ashari path. Yet all who sincerely seek the divine walk towards the same light, though their roads may differ. This tournament is an opportunity not for conquest, but for connection. Their warriors are said to be fierce, Master, hardened by these mountains, and their queen, her reputation is colorful. Negis Kwarazagwe. They say she is as beautiful as she is unconventional. Every soul is a universe of complexities, Azam. We approach all with respect, seeking understanding. Let us see what Abyssinia holds. The Abyssinian capital, Axum, it was in Abyssinia that Umar was in a city that was carved from stone and faith, its churches hewn into the very mountains. The tournament grounds were a vibrant spectacle, filled with the nobility of the highlands, warriors in unique armor and visiting dignitaries. Presiding over the event from a shaded, elevated pavilion was Negis Kwarazagwe, Queen of Abyssinia. Her beauty was indeed striking, her eyes dark and intelligent, missing nothing. Her Coptic faith was a core part of her royal identity. Yet rumors of her passionate nature and numerous liaisons. She was a well-known fornicator. As cruder tongues in distant lands whispered, lent her an aura of intriguing unpredictability. From her vantage point, her gaze fell upon the distinctive figure of Umar Johnson. He was unlike the Abyssinian nobles or the other foreign guests. There was an aura of profound calm about him, a self-contained power that drew her attention. Oh, that man, Lainey, the one in the simple robes with the bearing of a king despite his humble attire. That is Umar the missionary, is it not? Yes, it is, your majesty. He has traveled far. They say his wisdom is sought by many, and his skill in arms is considerable as proven in Kanem. Physical prowess, married to a philosopher's mind and a holy man's spirit. He is an anomaly, a fascinating one. I find myself curious. As the initial ceremonies of the tournament unfolded before the main contest of skill began, King Quara made a decision that caused a stir throughout the court. Announce to the assembly that I wish to bestow my royal favor upon our honored guest, Umar Johnson of the Ashari. Let there be no doubt of the respect this court holds for him. As your majesty commands, the herald bows, surprised but still. The royal herald, his voice booming across the tournament grounds, approached Umar. Umar Johnson of the Black Hand, called the missionary, honored sage and warrior, Her Most Divine Majesty, Neges Quara Zagwe, Queen of Queens, a Lion of Judah's lineage, graciously bestows upon you her royal favor in recognition of your great learning and esteemed presence. A beautifully embroidered silk sash, the deep crimson and gold of the Abyssinian royal house, was presented to Umar by a young court attendant. Umar, maintaining his serene composure, accepted the honor with a graceful bow, his voice clear as he offered his thanks. The Queen's generosity is a testament to Abyssinia's famed hospitality and noble spirit. I am deeply honored by this gesture. May it foster understanding between our peoples. But Queen Kara's tribute was not yet complete. To the astonishment of her own courtiers and assembled international guests, she rose from her throne. An attendant handed her a traditional Ethiopian lyre, the krar. She motioned for silence, and then she began to sing. The delicate, resonant sounds of her instrument being plucked can be heard softly under the narration, building slightly as Quara sings. Her voice, unexpectedly rich and imbued with a passionate clarity, soared over the hushed arena. It was an ancient Ethiopian love ballad, not a song of courtly flirtations, but one of deep, almost spiritual admirations. Its lyrics spun in the poetic cadences of Amarek, spoken of the steadfastness of the Samia Mountains, of the untamed power of the regal grace of the Abyssinian lion, of a heart unexpectedly stirred by the captivated spirit of extraordinary prowess and profound inner light. Throughout the song, Queen Quara's dark, expressive eyes were fixed almost entirely on Umar. There was no coquetry in her gaze, but a profound, open admiration that transcended mere attraction. It was a queen acknowledging a kindred spirit, a powerful soul recognizing another. The court was stunned into silence. The warriors, many of who have vied for her slightest glance, watched, mesmerized and perhaps a little chagrined. It was an unexpected display. Umar listened, his face serene, betraying no outward surprise. Yet his eyes held a deep acknowledgement of Poet's sincerity, of her song, of the rare and unexpected connection being forged in that public, yet deeply personal moment. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the intensity of her voice and the unspoken emotions that flowed between the Coptic queen and the Ashari missionary. Queen Kara's song, a public yet deep personal tribute, still seemed to hang in the crisp Highland air. The assembled court and warriors buzzed with speculation. Umar Johnson, the Ashari missionary, had not only accepted the Queen's favor, but had been the recipient of her extraordinary ballad. Now he had to demonstrate if the prowess she celebrated was truly manifest. The archery competition was the first. Abyssinian archers were renowned there, honed their skill hunting swift mountain game. The targets were distanced, the wind tricky. One by one, proud warriors stepped forth. Some shot well, others perhaps unnerved by the Queen's focused attention on the foreigner faltered. Then it was Umar's turn. He selected a simple bow, unassuming yet perfectly balanced. He nocked an arrow, his movement unhurried, imbued with his serene focus. Wage, talking to a member of the retinue. Watch the master's breath. It is an anchor of its aim. His spirit is already at the target. The arrow merely follows. Umar drew the bowstring for a moment. He was perfectly still. Then the arrow flew, struck, true. It struck the very center of the furthest target with a satisfying thud. A collective gasp, then a pause. He repeated the feat. Arrow after arrow after arrow. It found its mark with uncanny precision. His competitors could only watch, a mixture of admiration and disbelief on their faces. I have never witnessed such consistent accuracy, as if the wind itself parts from his shafts. It seems an art of the mind, not just the arm. Umar easily won the archery contest, accepting the victor's garland with quiet humility. Queen Kwawa's smile was radiant. Her eyes never left him. His eyes is as true as the virtue he espouses. Aleni, the ballads do not lie about such men. There is an integrity to his every action, a wholeness. Indeed, your majesty, he is formidable in many aspects. The duel will surely reveal more of his character. Next came the duels. This was a true test in the eyes of many. The first pairing announced caused a murmur. Umar versus Azam, his own trusted friend and companion. Azam stepped into the arena, saluting Umar with respect and affection. Master Umar, it has been an honor to walk beside you on many journeys. To stand against you in contest, even a friendly one, feels unnatural. Your wisdom guides me daily. Your strength is an inspiration. I know my limits, and I know your capabilities. I concede this bout to my teacher, my friend, my leader. There is no shame in acknowledging true mastery. Umar then placed his hand on Azam's shoulder. My friend. Azam, your loyalty and humility are greater victories than any won in this arena. Your strength is a pillar of our endeavors. I accept your honorable concession, though I know your own skill is considerable. The crowd, touched by this display of loyalty, applauded warmly. Queen Kwara watched, intrigued. The missionary commanded not just fear or awe, but deep personal devotion from his closest companions. Umar's next opponent was an older Abyssinian nobleman, Banim Astakeld. He was a veteran warrior, his face a roadmap of old scars. His eyes shrewd and assessing, he wielded a traditional Abyssinian spear and shield with practiced skill. The contest began. Lord Banim was cautious, his defense solid. He pressed Umar with well-aimed thrusts, testing his guard. Umar met him with equal caution, his movements precise, deflecting, parrying, observing. Lord Banim was in an attempt to unnerve Umar. You fight well for a man of books, missionary, but these highlands breed warriors, not just debaters. Your words may sway the weak-minded, but steel is a harsher argument. Umar, with a calm voice, even as he sidestepped a thrust. Indeed, Banim. Steel has its own stark eloquence, yet it is not the mind that guides the steel. A mind clouded by anger or by, perhaps, a fear of diminishing glory as the years advance can sometimes misguide even the strongest arm. Fear? I fear nothing, and my glory is secure. What would a desert wanderer know of Abyssinian honor? And Umar, continuing his advance, his voice remaining steady to Banim's rising agitation. Umar, continuing his advance, his voice remained steady, counterpoint to Banim's rising agitation. I know that true honor resides not in past victories alone, but in present conduct, in the grace with which one meets a challenge, whether from a younger lion or a changing season in one's own life. Tell me, my lord, does the thought of being bested by an outsider, a teacher of words, sting more than any physical blow might? Does that prickle of pride not distract your eye, unbalance your stance ever so slightly? Banim Astakale lunged, his attack now more ferocious, less controlled. Umar, anticipating the reckless move, evaded it neatly. Whoosh! As Benim stumbled, overextended, Umar's sword point came to rest not at his throat, but gently tapping the older man's shield. A mind in turmoil, my lord, is an open gate for defeat. Your skill is evident, your valor unquestioned, but your heart was not at peace in this contest. Lord Benim, panting, looked at Umar, then at his own shield. A dawning understanding mixed with chagrin on his face, he lowered his spear slowly. You fight with more than steel, missionary. You wield words like scalpels, I concede. The day is yours, and perhaps your lesson as well. Oh, did you see Eleni? He defeated him not with superior force, but with truth. He unraveled him with insight. This Umar is more than a warrior, more than a sage. He is a force of nature. The final bout was against a younger, highly regarded warrior named Kifa. Kifa was known for his speed and aggressive style. He entered the arena, saluted Umar, and then paused. He looked at Umar and then at Queen Quara and then back at Umar. There was a long, unappraising silence. Master Umar, I have witnessed your victory in archery. I have heard the testimony of Lord Benim Astakeld. I have seen the deep respect of your own companion Azam holds for you. And I have heard the Queen's song. To stand against a man so favored by skill, by wisdom, would be an act of following, not bravery. I, Kifa, concede this contest to you. Your legend precedes you and your presence confirms it. Your decision shows great discernment and honor, Kifa. It is a wise warrior who knows when a battle is already run, and when it does not need to be fought at all. I accept your concession with respect. And so Umar was declared the overall champion of the duels. His victories achieved through loyalty and psychological insight, and an aura of mastery that led his final opponent to concede without a single blow exchange. Queen Khar rose, her applause clear and sustained. Her gaze upon Umar was now filled with an intensity that bordered on reverence. This was a man unlike any she had ever known. Her heart, already stirred by their encounter in the wilds and her own ballad, now beat with a fierce, undeniable longing. The triumph in Abyssinia and the Queen's open admiration were but public affirmations of the connection that at first sparked in a place far removed from courtly splendors and the clamor of the tournaments. Umar continued his journey, often finding his thoughts returning to the earlier pivotal encounters of the mountains. It was a memory he cherished, a quiet touchstone in his often arduous life, a moment where souls had met free of pretense and royal obligation. He had been in those rugged peaks seeking solitude for meditation and to work on his chronicle. There, by a hidden waterfall, its waters cascading into a turquoise pool with hypnotic rhythm, he had found an unexpected figure, Quara. Not the bejeweled queen of Abyssinia, surrounded by her retinue, but a woman dressed in simple, practical traveling clothes. Her usual attendants reduced to a single discreet guard, who remained a respectable distance away, almost lost in the vast landscape. She looked up surprised, yet with an undeniable spark of recognition as Umar approached. Master Umar! The mountain spirits themselves must have guided your revered steps to the sanctuary. Or perhaps they guided mine. What brings the renowned missionary whose words are said to reshape souls to such a lonely, untamed place? Do you seek converts among the ancient spirits of these stones? Your Majesty, or here in this cavern of natural majesty, perhaps simply Quara, A seeker of truth like myself, I come to listen, Majesty. To listen to the ancient voice of these mountains, to the timeless wisdoms whispered in the water's ceaseless flows. To the profound silence where divine truth often chooses to reside far from the clamor of human ambition. The grandest mosques, the most revered cathedrals, and the humblest desert flower can all be pulpits for the truly observant soul. Carl with a thoughtful smiler. A philosopher indeed, Master Umar. My own people have always believed these mountains to be sacred. That God speaks most clearly here. High above the distractions and a safe distance from the endless demands of our cities and courts. I confess I often find my own spirit more attuned, more truly myself in such wild elemental places. They spoke for hours that day, an extraordinary communion of minds and spirits as the sun aired across the vast Abyssinian sky, painting the cliffs in shifting hues of gold and rose. They walked along ancient gulf paths, their conversation flowing as effortlessly after the mountain streams. Your Majesty carries a weight that few can comprehend. To lead an ancient people, to be an ancient vessel of hopes and a guardian of their traditions. It is a task that demands not only wisdom but immense fortitude. How do you find your own solace, your own renewal amidst such ceaseless responsibilities? Solace, Sage Umar. It is a rare bloom in the gardens of a queen. There is duty, always duty. There is tradition, a path laid down by generations. There is the constant, wearying balance of powerful factions, of competing needs, of ambitions that are not always noble. Sometimes I feel like a tightrope walker precariously balanced above a chasm, juggling precious, fragile globes, each representing a part of my kingdom. If one falls, my faith, of course, sustains me. My profound love for Abyssinia guides my decision, but true understanding and genuine meeting of spirits, that is a treasure rarely found. Yet, it is that very connection, that meeting of spirits, which can provide sustenance against the trials of leadership and the loneliness of the crown. To know one is not entirely alone in the most profound thoughts, one's most sacred aspirations, one's hidden burdens, that is a gift beyond measure, a balm to the weary soul, even if the outward path that life dictates must at times diverge. In the pure, unfiltered lights of the mountains, stripped of the public roles and expectations of their respective worlds, they found each other in a spiritual resonance. Umar encountered Quara, a mind equally keen, and deeply they engaged with profound mysteries of existence. Quara often found and was surrounded by the calculated deference and veiled ambitions of her court. Found in Umar a man of unshakable integrity. His words challenged and comforted her in equal measure. His spirit seemed to recognize her own beyond the trappings of queenship. It was there in the untamed heart of Abyssinia that their souls truly met, forging an indelible bond. They became in shared solitude and understanding soulmates. This memory was quite a strength for Umar. It lent a deeper meaning to Quara's subsequent songs at the tournament. It explained the intensity in her eyes, the open admiration that had stunned her court. The news, when it eventually reached him some months after he had departed Abyssinia, was thus both a political inevitability and a personal pang. Azam delivered it with careful tact, understanding the unspoken currents. Master Umar, word has arrived by a swift courier from Abyssinia. Niggas Kara is now formally betrothed. The arrangement has been proclaimed. Umar remained composed, but Azam, who knew him well, noted a momentary stillness, a flicker deep within his friend's unusually unreadable eyes. Betrothed? To whom does Abyssinia's future now bind her? To Aman Teka, master. He is the only son of Mesbin Tariku Teka of Showa. You may recall Mesbin Tariku, a man of considerable influence in the southern provinces, and if court gossip holds any truth, a man whose cunning is as deep as his ambition. It is widely said that Tariku has long maneuvered for this, that he has skillfully finagled this strategic marriage to bind his house ever closer to the Zagwe throne through his son. A queen's hand is often guided by the needs of her realm, Azan, not by the whispers of her own heart. Mesfin Tariku is indeed a fox. This union no doubt is intended to secure barters, to weave a stronger fabric for Abyssinia. Young man Avin Taka, he becomes an instrument of strategy. May Kara find the strength to navigate this path with her accustomed wisdom. Kara was indeed betrothed to Aman Teka. The announcement was made with all the ceremony befitting a royal alliance. But this betrothal, this political marriage, did not extinguish the fire that had been lit between them. It merely drove it into a deeper, more secret channels. Their bond was not one to be easily set aside by dynastic arrangements. Umar's journeys, driven by his ever-expanding mission, often brought him to the periphery of Abyssinia, or to neutral territories where discreet meetings could be arranged far from the prying eyes of Aksum's court, or the watchful agents of Mesfin Tariku. Loyal confidants like Wage for Umar and the steadfast Alini for Kara facilitated these dangerous liaisons. They were stolen moments fraught with peril, yet essential to both of their spirits. In these secret encounters, they were not the missionary and the betrothed queen, but simply Umar and Kara, two souls who have found their counterpart. Their physical and spiritual union continued, a defiant flame against the winds of political necessity. This betrothal, Umar, it is a chain forged by my father's counselors, hammered into place for Tyriku's ambitions. Aman Teka, he is what he is. A mean to an end for others. My heart is not in it. My heart is here with you always. But the future, Umar holding her gaze, his own filled with fierce tenderness. The future, my beloved Kara, is unwritten. We walk the path set before us, but we also carve our own. Our bond is a truth that politics cannot erase. Be wise, be strong. Be wise, be strong. Be wise, be strong. Fulfill your duties as you must, but never doubt where your soul finds its true anchor. And as their clandestine relationship deepened, even as Abyssinia prepared for a royal wedding meant to secure its future, a different, far more potent seed of destiny was being sown. For if Kara were to eventually marry her betrothed Aman Teka and bear children, the question of their true paternity would forever linger like a gathering storm. The quiet whispers were already circulating amongst the perceptive of her inner circle would only grow. Should her children, the future heirs of Abyssinia, carry Umar's unacknowledged bloodline, the very seams of the ancient kingdom, its lineage, its carefully constructed political alliances, might one day be irrevocably torn. Their profound love held not just solace for two souls, but for the potential to reshape the destiny of a nation. Whether Abyssinia knew it or accepted it or not.